Here we go. Kickoff time. I'm always playing black against ace rook. Does it sound like I'm whining? It might be because I am. Okay, f4. Bird is the word. Bird is the word. Bird is the word? It's not the word. Ah, c4. Okay, c5. Mimicking game. Ah, wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. How can I deal with that? I don't know if I want to get into what do I not want to get into? Let's do this. Let's see if the knight is going to play to f3. I'm being sneaky here. I want to control this square, and I think I'm going to have control over it. Let's see. Okay, I will have control over it. I was planning knight f3, a pin. Now we have this, and we are entering in what? What territory are we in right now? So, I might want to just give up my bishop. Bishop here, if h3, take this, and then expand on the b file. f4, f5 could be a bug. That could be a bug, definitely, can't it? I'm going to give it a shot. Focus on the dark squares is the plan. So if f3, well, I guess I go back to right here. So now there's 7th rank or 2nd rank issues. And I think I get into a position now where I should play this. Let's do that. I don't want this push to be played. And I think my opponent will have to be a bit more cautious about playing f4 right now because of how I could be responding. I think this is a good start. And what next? My bishop is actually in a spot to facilitate not only b5, but maybe to just play to c6 to take out the knight. I'm not so sure I could rely upon my knight on f6 anymore. So this is kind of the direction I want to be in, I think. Rook b8, b5 stuff. Again, since this f-pawn moved, it's not just the diagonal that has been weakened, but also 2nd rank. So the king could maybe be cut off towards an endgame if I plant a rook on that 2nd rank. One pig, as I will often reference. So now this move is being prepped. And what should I be doing about it? Well, I'm not really sure. What about pawn push now? No, that's not really working, is it? Actually, maybe maybe this. Knight here. Let's try it. I don't know if it's right. Pressure on this, so right now if captures, the knight has to recapture here. This has to be a bit inconvenient to tolerate a knight right here. It's stopping actually. My first thought was maybe after this move the knight could play here, and now I pretty much have to just come back. So, okay. I realize that, but what I'm hoping to get now is this square for my pieces. Should f4 be played, I want to get to this square. So I think I know the direction I want to be in. After f4, I'm pretty sure I just have to take right away. And I really can't do that right away. Okay, let me do this. And then I'm preparing knight d7 to e5 because I think this is the only direction for my opponent to go. And they just gave up their dark square bishop. Really? Whoa. That can't be right. Can it? Okay, now where would I like to be? This can't be right. There's no way that this could be right, right? I control this square after f pawn pushes. It's only this knight that I have to be cautious of. I have these squares available. And I think with the bishop pair, I should be looking to open things up. So let me do this move instead of b6. There could be takes, and then a4, b5, both tempo gaining moves, but I will get this square. If this pawn moves, I have the c5 square. I'm looking to just capture and then maybe have this pawn move at some point. I don't have this move. Let's see how my opponent recaptures. The rook? Okay. Counterattack. Pressure on this pawn. And I believe after a5, my opponent is going to be in some hot water. I get this c5 square, and I'm able to put pressure, a significant amount of pressure on this pawn, and I believe it's kind of tough. Okay, I take here, and now my bishop posting up on e5 is a monster, is it not? Or even right here, placing this knight in a pin. That's actually pretty appealing. Or none of the above. How about I take here? No, I like placing that knight in a pin, actually. There is pawn push, and then my rook is hit. So maybe I should just play here and cope with the knight on this square. I'm going to do this. I think my knight is really good. Actually, there is no knight here because I have the pressure on this pawn. So let's do this first. Stop this potential pawn sack, and then bishop to h6, or even queen to out to one of these two squares. These dark squares have to... this can't be right, right? Get my bishop here. There's two pieces of greater value on the same diagonal. Difficult pin to get out of, in other words. Maybe bishop to e3 to give a check at some point. Maybe the a file opens up, or maybe even my rook can contribute to putting pressure on this d3 pawn. After takes, rook takes, I have pressure. My rook is incredibly active. And this knight remains out of play and is a tactical vulnerability, and so too is this rook, or this bishop. So I think I just take here, or do I? How about push? No, let's not do that. How about queen here? No, there's knight there. So if I take, there's going to be a queen recapture, and then there's pressure on this. I don't want to drop this pawn. Let's not drop that pawn. So place the knight in a pin now, how about? I'm going to go with this, knowing that there could be like a knight move here. Okay. I think I want to just get rid of that knight. Get rid of the knight before it posts right here. Guard this pawn. It's got to be inconvenient, right? Are the knight's going to play here soon or something? But I have something on the a file. Let me do this right now. I got that a pawn. My knight is a really strong piece, right? Queen takes here. Is there going to be knight right here? No, I could get this. It interferes with the bishop's view of the pawn. So if queen takes here, do I take the pawn or do I play here first? Because I don't want to work myself into a pin on this file right here. So I think I actually win material now. Right? Is this just winning material? What am I missing here? There's a nasty pin that occurs if something's taken right here. My queen's in a good spot. One of these bishops is going to be off the board real soon, and there's nothing against my king. It's the knight, if anything, that can maybe cause me some problems. Is it going to cause me some problems? I don't think so. I'm not going to take the bishop because my opponent would then be out of a pin. I mean, look to advance my development, and I could do that with this rook move. The knight is still pinned, and if there's bishop takes, I recapture with the rook, and then the knight is lost. Pawn push allows just pawn takes. 40 seconds for white. Usually I'm the one that's behind in time here. So I don't see any okay, now actually I'll take that bishop. Or should I? Yeah, actually, because now I'm on this. What's that move? Did I miss something here? Don't tell me I missed something here. Are they just trying to be sneaky? There's no perpetual check here. That is a move I did consider. Oh, I don't have very much time. I guess I better just go with this. There's no perpetual. There's definitely no perpetual. I guess this is the best practical try. Best practical try. My king could definitely find a safe haven over here somewhere. Takes a little bit of work, but Okay, now let's just make sure of what? My rook coming over to defend against this sort of stuff, and now what next? Okay, there's this. Queen trade coming up soon, very, very soon, unavoidable. Queens are off. Queens are off, and let's stop that king from doing anything. Kick the king back, support this pawn, and then everything should be alright. So, alright, good game. Rook takes h3, yeah. Let me back up. Let's see. Again, this early move right here, d6. If I, let's say, run with knight c6 and my opponent plays like knight e2, d4 is going to be played, and it's difficult for me to get in this d5 like move because white just already has so much control over it. So I was trying to tweak the move order here, and I was taking into account the knight f3 move. By playing this d6 move, I want to be able to take that knight out and get control over d4 was basically the name of the game, and at this point I'm already assured of it. I have enough control over it. Actually right now, as soon as I play this knight move, I don't have control over it. Maybe there was d4 opportunities, but it was kind of baby stepped right there, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. So the bishop is there to facilitate. As soon as this move is there, you know, as soon as there's enough pieces there, that's why I played the more committal move, e5. I don't know. Well, really, it's this. This is the... I just don't know about... what move don't I know about? Oh, this one right here. I think there's something to be said for that move. I think maybe pawn push right now is best, and I think I'll be needing to play f5 in response to it. Because otherwise I run the risk of just f5, and maybe there's some issues against my king side here. So g3, it chases my knight back, but now it's like I'm just getting in a position now to occupy this square as soon as this advance comes, and that's really the only direction white can be going in. So I'm assured a good position for my minor piece. That's the direct result of having this pawn on g4 instead of g3. So again, looking a bit more closely at that, I think this is a big turning point. And I guess another one is, I don't know if taking this knight is the right thing to do. How about f4 right now? Keeping this dark square bishop around. But in any event, I still think I have like this knight repositioning to e5. It would be a little bit more difficult, however, if f4 and I take and the bishop recaptures. By having the bishop on f4 putting pressure on d6, I don't have this knight repositioned to d7 just yet because I mask my queen's view of the d6 pawn. So I think what a difference a pawn move can make, right? How about just not g4, but rather just f4 right now? And then if I capture, you have the option to now recapture, and in doing so, you take away the e5 square. My pieces can no longer pivot about on that e5 square. So when g4 is played, I can rely upon e5, the e5 square for my pieces, because f4 is really the only direction to go in. Yeah, so in other words, do without g4, I think it'd be a much different game.